James, I'm just wondering about, you've got up to 6-2 the last few weeks. Is that, do you kind of have a chat to you about Asian games? You could be doing shifts on the wing or full back. Is that kind of been the chat? Because you're kind of down if you're backs, if you're injuries?
Yeah, for sure. It's something we have to be, I suppose, over the detail and be ready to do. But likewise, we have some pretty versatile backs across the back line, as well as some pretty versatile forwards who can fill in on the wing if they need to and these kinds of things. So it's part and parcel really of playing 6-2, but I'd love to get around on the wing.
In November, I think, was it, just off the top of my head, was it, did you shift the wing or pull back one of the games? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy that kind of challenge? Or, I know obviously you probably just have been a test scrum-half.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting as well.
Yeah, I enjoy it. Something I do a little bit in training. The weeks I'm not playing in Leinster, I'll try get a run on the wing or at fullback, or because I think ultimately it can aid your game in ways and get a bit more of an understanding. So but I do find it enjoyable.
The build up to that try by Rob Balakoon was, like Andy Farr said, it's one of the best tries the team has scored. Like, is that almost like the benchmark? Is it, or is it almost frustrating that, look, that's what we're capable of, when we can put it together, and ultimately, like, that's the potential the team has in an attacking sense?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. Like I touched on there, a little bit of the frustration is we know we're capable of it, but we haven't been delivering it consistently. So there's a little bit of both, and I suppose it just shows, when we get things rolling, we can be tough to play against.
Simon then Derek.
Yeah, like Jamison. 15 England players on the Lions tour. You know them an awful lot better than you did before you went, I suppose. How has it all of that changed the dynamic of the way you prepare to play this England team?
I think there's a little bit of mateship created between us, I suppose, and to me that adds to a rivalry. Like when I think about Interpros in Ireland and that kind of thing, like they're some of my favourite games to play because the lads, and I've spoken about it before, but it's kind of like a brotherly kind of rivalry, and we played with these guys for 2 months during the summer and got to know them pretty well. Some great fellas. So to me that adds to the challenge and to the rivalry, and I love that kind of stuff. So it's going to be hard, but look forward to it.
And you worked an awful lot with Alex Mitchell. What are your thoughts on the strengths he brings to the England team?
He's a great player, isn't he? He adds a lot to the game, I feel. With I think his biggest strength is his running game and getting on the ball. So yeah, he certainly possesses a good few weapons with that side of his game, but he's pretty consistent with his box kicking as well. So he's a pretty all-round kind of player, and one I love to come up against.
Derek?
Jamison, Brian Driscoll, who actually used to be scrum-half at one point, broke cover before the Italian game and said that the ruck speed was too slow against France and that it needed to quicken up. So if we take it that the performance against Italy was better than the performance against France, was that discussed with you and Andy that it needed to be back to 2.5 seconds or 3 seconds, that you needed to get the ball away quicker from the ruck?
Yeah, I think so. Something I suppose we as Irish players kind of pride ourselves on as our ruck work, I suppose. So, and like I say, it wasn't good enough against France. Probably a little bit better on the weekend, but certain areas we can still be better.
And could I just ask you, as a small person, like Craig Casey, do you have sympathy with Craig? Craig was caught in a situation where you couldn't do much. Or sorry, how did you view that yellow card?
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? It's a contact sport ultimately, and you're going to end up in compromised positions. So it's just one of those things, really, isn't it?
Was he unlucky to get a yellow card, do you think? Or is it? Do the players know that you must crouch now? You must be seen to be crouching?
Yeah, I think that's the main thing, isn't it? You've got to be seen to be level changing somewhere, whether it's the hips or the knees or both. So, but yeah, it's tough, I suppose.
If you've got a 6'4" guy wearing 180 Ks running at you, your first instinct is not to crouch.
It probably would be, yeah. Get away from his head.
Good answer.
Mike?
just England teams out there, Henry Pollock starting number 8. What do you make of this player? You would have played against him again.
Breaking news. He's unreal, man. Like an unbelievable athlete. Moves unbelievably well, seriously quick, great with the ball in hand. So yeah, he's a serious one to try and take away his strengths, I suppose.
Do you have that personality off the field? What you told him? Was he a bit like that, or what sort of character was he?
He's exactly how you see him online, so you guys probably know him as well as I do. But no, he's a great young fella, full of energy, and so be looking forward to getting out there against him.
Brandon?
Hi, Jamison. We've seen the bench make an impact the last couple of weeks. Obviously, you came off against Italy. Jack Conan was here last week saying it's not easier to come off the bench, but that it gives you maybe a different framework. What are you seeing on the bench, and how much are you ready to kind of put that into practice when you hit the field last week?
Yeah, I suppose it's just the conversations we have on the bench, isn't it? We're all kind of watching the game to see what's going on and where we can add, and as well as going into halftime and getting the kind of team messages and. But like I touched on earlier, I think ultimately you're looking to add energy and try and pick the pace of the game up, and I suppose we did that pretty well on the weekend.
Sorry, Kieran.
Just back to our Balkans try, Stuart throws that sort of one-handed offload pass in the build-up. You don't see a huge amount of that kind of in rugby in general. Is that just there's only a small group of players who kind of have that skill set, or is it just being a bit are you taking the riskier option in terms of the score?
Yeah, I suppose I think we had a penalty advantage, so but like that's kind of what we ask of Stu, to go out there and be himself, and we've seen it the whole way through the year with Ulster. When he's playing good footy, it looks like he's enjoying himself, and so that's kind of what we ask of him really, and he showed it again on the weekend.